Hello world, Dano here, stacking paper as always. Today we are doing a review of Blood Music by Greg Bear. This is a techno-thriller, very much in the Michael Crichton vein. And quick premise, it's very simple. Buddy in a lab creates sentient cells from his own blood. So blood cells that can think. And he does this unbeknownst to his higher-ups. He's doing this low-key in the lab. They find out about it and tell him he has to destroy all his samples and he's getting kicked out, essentially. But instead of that, he decides to take one of these samples and inject it into his own bloodstream. And, hijinks ensue. This book is honestly just solid. It's not anything revolutionary. The plot didn't surprise me at all. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. But it was very well executed. I will say I think I like the first half of the book a lot better than the second half. I don't think it's damning or anything. It's just... it gets a little too macro. So basically, the first half of the book, it's really focused on Victor Ulam, who's the guy who creates these cells, and how it's changing his body. And this is where I think it's strongest. He does a really good job of explaining really complicated concepts, about molecular biology and even to a point like quantum, fuckery, to say the least. There's even moments in the book where he's explaining something to a character, and the other character is like, "Dude, explain it in English. You're going off the rails here." So he's very self-aware about stuff like that. And I think to write a good techno thriller, you have to be good at explaining, big concepts to the layman, which is why Crichton is so popular. I will say this book is definitely not as good as Crichton's, big ones. I think it is essentially a better Andromeda Strain, though. Andromeda Strain I really wasn't a big fan of because of just setting fatigue. You're in a bunker the whole time. But this book gets really big really fast. There's a huge vibe switch in the middle, without spoiling. I'm trying to keep spoilers really minor. But essentially the first part of the book, it's very much about this guy and how it's changing him. And the second half of the book, it goes full apocalypse mode, which is... you have to expect that from a book that's about a plague of some kind. They have to make the stakes huge at some point, or else it kind of gets dry really fast. If I have some gripes about it, though, because it's definitely not a perfect book, where it's weaker is its character work. I couldn't really give a shit about most of the characters. I think at the beginning they're fine. There's a couple. I think Victor Ulam and Bernard, the scientist, who's more prominent in the second half of the book. Those are the two really interesting characters, and everyone else is kind of whatever. There are some really touching moments, specifically between one couple, but it's very fleeting. It's one moment. But yeah, and I wasn't a huge fan of where some of the characters went in the second half. The second half of the book is more multi-POV. And it gives you these new characters that had nothing to do with the first part, kind of just traversing this new world. But a lot of them don't really go anywhere. There's really one group of people that you follow for at least 30 pages, and then it just doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't go anywhere with that plot point, which I'm okay, that was kind of a waste of time. But I still like the big concepts, and it does get really deep with memory and the pros and cons of being part of a hive mind. Essentially, there's some touching moments with one character essentially talking to her family members that aren't alive anymore, alive in brackets, because they are alive, just not in the normal human form that she's used to them. It's very similar to Arcane, if you've ever watched Arcane, whoever's watching this. There's kind of a similar plot point of people kind of communing into this one, blob hive mind. That and what's another thing it's similar to? Magnetic Rose, which is like a animated short story. Similar vibe. It's like this microscopic intelligence that's able to tap into your brain and, you know, show you things from your memories and become your loved ones and type of stuff. It's all very creepy, to be honest, and that I think is a huge peak of this book is the body horror. There's some gnarly body horror moments in this book, but it's not overindulgent, and I think it's fine. It's not like to the point of being like truly horrific, like something like Negative Space or, you know, like Cronenberg-y stuff. But all in all, this book is just solid. Nothing crazy, nothing like revolutionary. It's exactly what I expected it to be, with some weaker characters than I'd hoped for, but that's about it. Like it's executed well. I think it ends very well. There's some like really wholesome culminations of character arcs in this book. Even if I don't give that much of a shit about a lot of the characters, it does give you this kind of like love for humanity angle near the end. But yeah, I'd say a solid 7 out of 10. I think like a mid-high B tier book, like fully recommendable. I think digestible by most people. A good like gateway science fiction. It's not too overwhelming. So that's that. I'm trying to keep these videos nice and short. 6 minutes, awesome. So what I'm reading now, I'm hard pivoting to fantasy because I've been reading so much science fiction. I gotta give my fantasy collection their due, and I'm doing Michael Moorcock May. I'm only reading Michael Moorcock novels for the entire month of May because I really want to get into the Eternal Champion. I'm reading Elric of Melniboné, the first Elric book chronologically. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to do as much Eternal Champions as I can to get like the full picture of that story that he does. I'll get into that with those videos, but so far I'm enjoying it. It's classic sword and sorcery. It's really not my thing, but I'm just kind of opening myself up to it, and from what I've read, I'm actually really enjoying it. So we'll get to that in the next video, but for now, Greg Bear, Blood Music, solid book, totally recommendable. If you like techno-thrillers, if you like apocalyptic-y, world-ending sci-fi stakes and gnarly body horror, this is fully a book for you. Yeah, until next time, peace out.